I'm coming back for the 9th and final season of The Flash. Why? Doesn't matter. How?
Yo, what is going on, guys? Flashverse here, and welcome back to another video on The Flash Season 9. Now, a couple of days ago, us Flash fans have been eating good, and that was because of some recent news that's dropped, revealing 4 returning characters for one of the episodes of The Flash, and that is episode 9 of Season 9, which is also the episode Danielle Panabaker will be directing. Now, in this episode, we know we'll be having, as I said, 4 returning characters, those being John Diggle, aka Spartan, Ramsey Rosso, aka Bloodwork, Kid Flash, or Wally West, aka Kid Flash, and the GOAT himself, Oliver Queen, aka the Green Arrow, aka the Spectre. Now, I haven't done a theory video in a while now, and I thought this video would be an interesting one to cover, and that is obviously, how on earth does Oliver Queen return in this episode? Because unlike all of these characters, Oliver Queen is the only one that's dead. John Diggle is still alive. Ramsey Rosso has escaped Argus. Well, in the show we know that he was in Argus, but through the comics we know that he's escaped Argus. Kid Flash is still around. The only one that's dead is Oliver Queen, and obviously he sacrificed himself to save the multiverse in Crisis on Infinite Earths during Arrow Season 8. So, as I said, I thought this was a pretty interesting topic to cover, and no one's really done it yet, so I might as well do it, I guess. So yeah, judging from how many characters we're having returning in this episode, it seems like a pretty big one. Just like having Kid Flash, John Diggle, Oliver Queen, like all in the same episode, it seems like something big is going on. It gives me like, high stakes vibes. So it will be interesting to see what's going on in like the back half of The Flash Season 9 and how, all these characters fit into it. Maybe when we get like more details, I'll be able to theorize that in another video. But as I said, for this video, we will be talking about how Oliver Queen does return in this episode, considering he is dead. But before I go over anything, however, you guys don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel so you are aware of more Arrowverse content coming your way. Now, obviously the first way, and I guess the most obvious way for Oliver Queen to return, is as the Spectre, as that's his current form at the moment. Ever since Arrow ended, even in the Earth Prime comics, this is who Oliver Queen has now become. Oliver Queen has become the Spectre, and essentially is pretty much overlooking the multiverse, as it seems. And we know he has appeared in the Earth Prime crossover comic, which is canon in the Arrowverse. And essentially he was like telling the audience how the heroes need to be ready for what's to come, and they need to be prepared. Now, I think whatever Oliver Queen was talking about over here is totally unrelated to The Flash Season 9, considering the amount of characters we had in that Earth Prime comic with Black Lightning, Superman, the Atom, Sarah Lance, Supergirl, Jay Garrick, and Kid Flash. We had a lot of characters, a lot of which will not be appearing in The Flash Season 9. So maybe they could like drop hints of it, because we know we're getting like Wally West, for example, and we do know that we'll be getting John Diggle. So maybe we could have some references, and obviously Oliver Queen will be there as well. So we could have some references to the Earth Prime comic that could potentially be what's going on, but I don't think it's related to it at all. I think it's going to be like a follow-on comic afterwards. But we know Oliver Queen is still around as a Spectre, as we did see in the Earth Prime comic. So that could be one way that Oliver Queen will be able to make it in this episode. Now, depending on the scale of the episode, it could change what Oliver Queen's role would be. It could obviously be like a pep talk moment really quickly where Oliver Queen just like motivates Barry to do something. It could obviously be like a full-on Spectre and the Flash versus whoever like the overarching villain of the episode is, which would be really cool. However, if the Spectre is around fighting with Barry, like, he would be very, very overpowered, and it would pretty much feel like nothing considering how powerful a character like the Spectre is. So as I said, it depends on the scale of the episode, but considering how many characters we are getting returning in this episode, it does seem quite big. Now, we do need to take into consideration what Eric Wallace, the showrunner for The Flash, said about this episode as well. He said, After all, it was Oliver who originally launched Barry Allen on his heroic path. That's why everyone in Team Flash felt so strongly that it was important to create a full circle moment with Oliver's return in the final season of The Flash. The result is an epic yet emotional episode we hope Arrowverse fans will enjoy. It's to say thank you to everyone for watching and supporting our show throughout 9 wonderful years. We cannot wait for everyone to see Grant and Steven saving the world together again. And yes, there will be thrills, chills, and tears. So Eric Wallace does mention Grant and Steven saving the world together again. So this could potentially mean a crossover between the two characters actually like facing off against someone. And if it's the Spectre, he would be able to deal with anyone he's facing pretty easily. So will it be Oliver Queen appearing as the Spectre that we will be getting in this episode? Obviously it could be a possibility, but again, I'm not entirely sure. Now, when they announced Oliver Queen returning, they didn't really specify whether it would be as the Spectre or as the Green Arrow as well. And this does open doors for Oliver Queen to return as the Green Arrow as well. And I think this would be the one that would hit most for most people, because that is who Oliver Queen is. He is the Green Arrow after all. And yes, I do realize he is the Spectre now, but for me at least, I would feel it would just, I don't know, like, I don't know what the right word is. I want to say nostalgic, but also it would just satisfy the fans a lot more if we do see like the Flash and Green Arrow together, like we did get for the first couple of seasons of the Flash, whenever Green Arrow and the Flash crossed over with one another. I want to feel that same vibe, if you know what I mean. And that is why it would be great to have Oliver Queen and the Flash teaming up together, but with Oliver being the Green Arrow. And thankfully, with one of the Flash's power traits, this is actually possible. So the second option for Oliver's return is actually, surprise, surprise, time travel. We know the Flash has the ability to time travel, so that could be how we could get Oliver Queen appearing as the Green Arrow. That could potentially be how we could even get John Diggle to play into it as well. So it could be like a flashback type thing, a moment we've never seen before, and potentially set in between somewhere around season 5 to season 8, somewhere around that time. It could even be season 8, but any time before Oliver Queen dies and any time after Oliver Queen and Barry have an established relationship. So I would say somewhere around the season 5 to season 8 mark, and Oliver and Barry could just easily time travel, grab Oliver Queen and bring him to the present day, or they could just deal with the threat in the past and Oliver Queen just shows up to be there. That would be very, very emotional if that's the case. And I don't know how they could exactly make that work in terms of like, because you know Barry's suit would be different and everything, and like all the like timey-wimey stuff going around with the Flash. So I know they won't have to really deal with the repercussions of time travel because this is the final season, so we won't really see what happens after that. But that could obviously be a possibility as well. An episode set in the past, and or like a segment set in the past, and that's how we see Oliver Queen as the Green Arrow, and whatever's happening is present day Barry and a past version of Oliver Queen teaming up together and just facing off against the bad guy. That would be very, very emotional, very, very cool to see, and it would just give us such a nice moment between Barry and Oliver, in my opinion. Now obviously if this version of Oliver Queen is able to make it to present day, obviously that would hit so much harder as well, considering the fact that Diggle is also in the episode. Obviously we could see Diggle in like the flashback as well with Oliver Queen, but I don't know if Oliver somehow manages to make it in present day. Maybe, as I said, Barry goes back in time and just snatches Oliver, however they make it work, and then we have present Diggle and like an older version of Oliver Queen interacting. That would absolutely kill, but it will be interesting to see how they'll be able to handle Oliver Queen and, you know, him as the Green Arrow. I think that's the route they're gonna go, like in terms of Oliver Queen appearing as the Green Arrow, not as the Spectre. Maybe we could even see both, who knows, but I think they're gonna go down the Green Arrow route because I think that's the one that's gonna like hit fans the hardest, in my opinion. Now lastly, we do need to take into consideration another character who's going to be in this episode, and that is obviously Ramsey Rosso, aka Bloodwork. And we know, seeing from the Flash season 6 episode 7, I believe, The Last Temptation of Barry Allen part 1, we know Ramsey has the ability to make Barry hallucinate if, like, you know, he gets infected. So we could have something similar to that. Maybe Barry starts hallucinating, he goes all crazy, he sees Oliver and he sees like everyone. Maybe even we could get like Oliver Queen as the Spectre, like talking Barry out of it. Something like that maybe could happen as well. But obviously Ramsey infecting Barry could be another option in my opinion as well. But then obviously we're getting other characters like Kid Flash, John Diggle. So I don't think so. It could just be Barry hallucinating Oliver, but then Diggle and Wally are there fighting crime with Barry. That could be a possibility as well. But in my opinion, the route they're going to go for is either Oliver as the Spectre, which would be the easiest route they could go for, or it would be like an Oliver Queen time travel type thing. But whichever it is, I'm just glad the GOAT is back. It's just so satisfying having Oliver Queen in the final season of The Flash, because he's after all the one who started it all, and it makes sense that he would be in the show that ends the Arrowverse completely. But yeah guys, thanks for watching. If you guys have enjoyed this video, please give a like and subscribe. Be sure to tell me in the comment section down below how you guys think that Oliver Queen will return in the final season of The Flash. I'm interested to see all of your thoughts towards all of this as well. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.